Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to share with you thoughts about RISE with SAP, how SAP helps companies to drive business innovation at SUSECON 2022. My name is Axel, and I'm working in the solution management of SAP, where we are responsible for defining S/4HANA Cloud. So let's have a look at how RISE with SAP, how S/4HANA Cloud can really support innovation. I think that's strongly touching as well SUSE's business, because as you know, every HANA appliance needs a Linux system and every SAP stack requires a HANA appliance. So even in the cloud, that holds true. And the long partnership between SUSE and SAP is important to mention in this context. Why are companies asking SAP to support them with something like RISE with SAP? Of course, it's about weathering the storms. There were the big changes in viewing business models a few years ago when companies started to wrap their products with services to be able to really manage outcomes instead of just delivering products. This is still going on. This is still happening and not gone away. We then had the COVID crisis, which really severely disrupted the supply chains, and still they haven't recovered fully. Now we, in addition, got the war in Ukraine with all its ramifications on supply chains again. And across of all of that, we have the trend of global warming with the clear need of every company to work towards a more sustainable business model. With all of that, the pressure on the CIO and on using information technology, both wisely in terms of how energy, for example, is consumed, as well as in terms of how new business models and processes can be supported, really is the challenge of today's world. So weathering the storm is what SAP wants to achieve jointly with our customers. And we do that by using our service and product portfolio, ranging from the business technology platform to the application layer of enterprise resource management, spend, human capital management, customer relationship management, up to the management of processes end to end in a business process management that relates all of that to a specific industry, a specific situation, and that makes it dynamically adaptable, that gives companies the opportunity to constantly work on their processes and refine them. So those are the three layers that are relevant and with which SAP makes companies intelligent and sustainable enterprises. Let's have a look at how this works. First of all, it works in the cloud. Information technology drives workloads into the cloud. That is apparent because of opportunities that the cloud provides to really consume technology and make use of the opportunities that technologies provide. There are trends that are apparent in terms of automation, in terms of the monetization of data. This is all clearly something that is much easier consumed from the cloud, as companies can no longer cope with the wealth of innovation coming from the technology sector to, for each and every innovation, really understand how does it work, how can I deploy it, and how can I technically run it. The cloud makes this use of technology possible. But then when we talk about cloud, we have to look at the SAP customer who runs SAP already. Mostly we still see also on-premise systems with our customers. Many customers run older versions of SAP with ECC, for example, also S/4HANA in its on-prem representation is being used widely. So the question is, how can we get into the cloud? How can we get towards S/4HANA Cloud without losing what we built today, where we spend a lot of ideas and mind and also investment? And to really make the way from today's environment into the future S/4HANA Cloud environment, we actually introduced the concept of the private cloud. But there's two concepts. There's the public cloud and the private cloud. And SAP supports both of that with S/4HANA. With the public cloud, customers can consume a pure software as a service, standardized, pre-customized S/4HANA that comes with automatic upgrades and is easy to deploy with very low total cost of ownership. This is available, this is possible, but it has the framework condition of requiring a greenfield approach. And for companies using SAP already, in many cases, a mix, a combination of capturing past investments and adding innovations and renovations to the system landscape is what is desired. And this is possible with the private cloud. There are 4 value pillars that we address with RISE with SAP. First, it's the transformation success as such. With S/4HANA Cloud, this is addressed as well as with the other components that I will show to you in a minute. Secondly, it's the as-a-service experience, as this all is provided from the cloud. The third thing is the operational resilience. With S/4HANA Cloud, companies aim at being more resilient than before, trusting on the strong partners that come jointly with SAP under one contract, with just one partner to be contracted, SAP, but with all of the wealth of the infrastructure providers in the background supporting that. And the fourth point is predictable and lower TCO. So we have really worked on the commercial models around this that will provide you as well specific value. So let's have a look at what really is RISE with SAP. It is a choice of our portfolio that is being put together with services and tools that allows to take the lead, but also to continuously improve and to secure the success that has been achieved through the transformation. When companies take the lead, they of course want to address the top line or the bottom line. They want to unlock efficiency. And most importantly, they also want to manage towards a more sustainable value creation of the company. This is being achieved by a combination of products and services from SAP's overall portfolio that comprises of S/4HANA Cloud at its core and center, of business process intelligence, of the business platform, the business technology platform, as well as the business networks that I will describe in a minute, and as well of services and tools. All of this comes together in a subscription, in one subscription. You decide for S/4HANA Cloud, and the other components are part of that, and you get it in one subscription and can make use of that. On top of that, customers can then additionally choose whatever they need from the portfolio of SAP to round it up. And this will drive the value. Let's start with the Cloud ERP part, S/4HANA Cloud. As I said before, in this presentation, I want to focus on the case that you have existing landscapes, SAP landscapes that you want to capture and bring into this new S/4HANA Cloud environment. And for this specific case, we have S/4HANA Cloud in its private edition. That's how we call it, S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. And you would choose here as a first step for S/4HANA Cloud in this version. On top of that, you receive the 4 other packages. But let's have a look at S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. And here I really have to say, S/4HANA is not so new anymore. Since 7 years, customers around the globe embrace on it, implement it, and they have good reason for it. When it was invented in 2015, it brought for the first time an ERP system that could seamlessly combine analytical and transactional tasks in one system and take from that and catch from that the possibility to on-the-fly analysis what is happening in the business and steer analytic insights into action. The insight to action aspect of S/4HANA is one of the key ingredients that drives innovation, and that is available with S/4HANA Cloud. Of course, only with that we were able to build functionality like a demand-driven material resource planning that allows for ad hoc planning and for capturing demand signals in the material resource planning, for simulating, for changing parameters and then planning again, while at the same time the company operates with the system. This was never ever possible before 2015. Only with the technology innovation of S/4HANA, this was possible. And the full availability, the full functional scope of S/4HANA is now being made available with S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. Let me show you how this works in detail from a more IT perspective. Every S/4HANA implementation has the elements that are described on this graphic in this cake type of chart. Of course, an S/4HANA system needs the infrastructure. It can only run with the software and support being provided by SAP, and it needs technically managed services. With those 3 components, the software, the infrastructure, and the technical services, the system itself runs. It runs in the data center, it runs stable, it can be technically maintained. And this is what SAP brings together in one subscription with S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. So in other words, you receive a complete S/4 system from the cloud. The advisory and implementation services, nevertheless, are brought to you by SAP's ecosystem or by SAP services. And this will make the implementation happen. And then the change during usage of S/4HANA Cloud, the application management services, this is happening either through partners, or you can also order it from SAP as an add-on. Also, SAP provides that. But in general, as the basic ingredient of S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition, we provide exactly those 3 elements in the cloud service. With that, you achieve to use S/4HANA as you know it, with 64 countries covered, in 25 industries, 39 languages covered, all of the great things that make SAP the undisputed market leader in ERP are available with S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. But the great thing here again is really you can get there not only via a greenfield approach, you can get there by way of converting existing SAP systems into this environment. And it makes it possible, not sure if anybody else can offer that, to combine the movement from the past ERP, let's say the 20th century ERP, which basically is the business suite, to the 21st century ERP, which is S/4HANA, and at the same time move to the cloud. This is S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. And then on top of that, we said S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition should work for every size of customer. It should work for the small customers with 10, 15, maybe 100 users, but it should also work for large corporations with more than 1,000 users. And therefore, for the biggest customers, the most complex customers, we introduced S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition tailored option, which allows for a very individual specification and design of the landscape to take consideration for very specific requirements that are individual to a specific customer in a specific industry. That's the tailored option. But that's not enough. We went even one step further because some customers have requirements that cannot be fulfilled by the public cloud infrastructure as a service providers that we use in S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. Some customers require deploying the entire thing on their data center locally. And we even do this with the data center option. In this case, we are able to run S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition with the technically managed service, as I described. We run it on specifically described and designed systems with our partners from HP, from Lenovo, or from Dell. And if this is set up the way we describe it in the local data center, then we can run it as a customer data center option. The standard S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition comes on 5 different infrastructure options. First of all, you can choose to run it as in an SAP data center. Secondly, you can choose to run it on one of the 3 known hyperscalers. It can be Google, it can be AWS, it can be Microsoft Azure. But you can also choose IBM as a platform provider. And it's upon us to then negotiate with the infrastructure provider and make it happen for you, because as a customer, you only relate to SAP, and SAP makes everything happening in the background with the infrastructure provider. And I think this is a world-class choice that really gives freedom as well as security to all of our customers. Let me dig a little bit deeper into what is built into RISE with SAP on top of S/4HANA Cloud. And it's, as I said, tools and services, business process management, supported by our recent acquisition, Signavio, the business technology platform, and the business network starter pack. With those 4 elements, we support not only the transformation, but also the ongoing optimization and the security of how you run this all in your future ERP environment. Let's have a look at the continuous improvement. As part of the RISE with SAP packages, you actually get licenses and usage rights in the subscription for Signavio that allow for constant analysis and refinement of how your business processes are being implemented. And with that, you never stop to improve. And the people working with SAP are part of this digitalized process improvement that is possible with Signavio. And it's really along the way of using SAP, understanding how I participate in the business process, finding things that need to be improved, quickly outline that in the Signavio process chart, and then making that part of refinements and the constant application management that then takes those changes into the SAP application. So never stop improving is a key aspect of RISE. Along with that as well, the cloud consumption itself helps to never stop improve. While S/4HANA Cloud offers also the way of using the IMG, you can use that for in-app extensibility of S/4HANA. We really recommend to use the business technology platform, which is also included into RISE with SAP, to rather think about side-by-side extensions of S4 and keep S4 itself, the core, rather clean and manageable. with this concept that is built into RISE, so to speak, also the improvement aspect is touched because the release cycle and the constant influx of innovations is made possible. And of course, within the subscription, there's also the technical support of the upgrades included, the technical support. It is still in the private option, the responsibility of the customer to decide and understand when and how to start an upgrade. But never stop improving is really built into the concept. Let's have a look at securing your success, how security is built into the concept. And I mentioned already that with SAP, the hyperscalers, with IBM, for example, and the other hyperscalers, the whole concept provides the stability and the mission critical aspects that are necessary for a really enterprise ready operations of a cloud ERP. But that's not all. Along the cycle of implementing and running S/4HANA Cloud with the RISE with SAP components, along each of those steps, we put components into RISE with SAP that you can use. So we also thought about the dynamics of planning, implementing, using, and further refining the ERP landscape, and put the right aspects, the right components into RISE with SAP to support that. Then, of course, as an SAP customer, you make use of the ecosystem of SAP. Of course, we have one of the biggest ecosystems of all ERP providers, and therefore we can really provide advisory and implementation services in every place of the planet, in every way. And as I said, the application management services, the change services, can be consumed from partners optionally and as well from SAP on top of S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. So this makes it a secure and round package. And then along the way, when you run S/4HANA Cloud, you might also want to change things and add specific business process support and use cloud applications for that. For the entire SAP portfolio, S/4HANA Cloud is open for rapid and easy integration once you run S/4HANA Cloud. And we make sure that we seamlessly integrate with those applications, not only from a technical perspective, but also from a semantic perspective, from an end-to-end process perspective that really supports the entire business process as you need it from the cloud. Of course, this is made true and made possible with the business technology platform underneath. And the business technology platform is part of RISE with SAP. It allows for the integration of S/4HANA Cloud with other applications. It allows for the extension of S/4HANA Cloud with your own applications or new interfaces to existing data. And it allows for managing the data that comes not only from S/4HANA, but also from other applications at one place, and provides data analytics and data warehousing functionality as you need it. So this, in a nutshell, is what RISE with SAP actually offers to customers, and it has received a very positive feedback from the market, and we have a huge number of customers currently embracing on RISE with SAP. You see here examples from all industries across the globe that I put together for this presentation. Really impressive. It is a very successful offering, and for good reason, because it really supports the value creation in 4 dimensions. As I outlined in the beginning, those more than 1,000 current RISE customers benefit for their transformation success, in the sense that they receive the right process support with the best possible ERP software of the 21st century, with the other components together. And we provide the right tools for the transformation. Last not least, we help to connect this application landscape with other applications. It is a subscription. It comes with a subscription contract that is very clear and simple. One contract with one partner, and all of those elements are in that. This is really an as-a-service experience. It provides a high operational resilience. It is stable. It offers SLAs, optionally up to more than 99%. And it really provides the highest level of cloud security in all its aspects that only SAP with its partners can provide. Last not least, it is also making use of innovative commercial concepts brought to you. It is in this package also making use of the capabilities that the hyperscalers provide in terms of bringing the infrastructure of choice with scalable cost to you. So overall, it's also offering a TCO optimized model. And with that, I want to close and summarizing. RISE with SAP is the combination of S/4HANA Cloud with the business technology platform, process management, and as well the business networks, plus services and tools to help you taking the lead, never stop improving, and securing your success. And with that, I thank you for listening. And I hope if you have questions, just drop me an email. Let's stay in touch and let's talk to each other about how this unfolds for you. Thank you.